Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today is day 85 of my 200-day posting streak goal, and this is day 5 out of 5 on my doubleheader streak, and this is video 1 out of 2 today, and today I'm doing my top 25 MLB players of the 1990s. Now before I give you who I think are the best players of the 90s, feel free to share who you think are the best players of the 90s down below in the comments, and let's begin. Number 25, John Smoltz, who had a sub 3.4 ERA, had over 1,600 strikeouts in just over 2,000 innings. 24, Tom Glavine, who had under a 3.2 ERA, had over 1,400 strikeouts in just over 2,200 innings. Number 23, Cal Ripken Jr., who was definitely not on the level he was a decade prior. However, still, he had over 170 home runs. He batted almost 270. He did have an OPS in the 750s, which, compared to how much, the OPSs are to everyone else higher, it might feel a bit tame, but he still did win 2 Gold Gloves. He's really being carried because of the beginning of a decade. But yes, the 80s were very much so his decade, but he was still pretty decent. He was still pretty good in the 90s. Now coming in at number 22 is Edgar Martinez, who had almost 200 home runs, just under 900 walks, and batted over 320, had a 430 on base, 962 OPS. The only reason he isn't higher is, first off, because he's a DH, but also because he only played like half the decade. But still, Edgar Martinez was great this decade. Now coming in at number 21 is Jim Thome, who, played a bit less during the decade, but still, he had almost 200 home runs, batted over 280, had over a 400 on base, and had a 959 OPS. Number 20 is Pedro Martinez, who is really being carried more because of the end of the decade. And, he was pretty amazing this decade. He had just under a 3 ERA. He had just over 1,650 strikeouts and just over 1,400 innings. If he pitched a little bit more, he probably would have been 10 spots higher. But still, Pedro, his 1999 year was pretty unbelievable. But yeah, Pedro will be number 20. Number 19 is Mark McGwire, which I debated if I wanted to put him on this list. However, he had 363 home runs. He had over a 400 on base, over 1,000 OPS, just under 1,000 walks. So it's like, yeah, even though, Mark McGwire definitely cheated at the end of the decade, he was still pretty good, where I will put him at number 19. Number 18, Craig Biggio, who had almost a 300 average, over a 380 on base, over an 820 OPS, and also hit over 120 home runs, and also stole, over 330 bases, and won 4 Gold Gloves. Yeah, Craig Biggio was great. Number 17 is Pudge Rodriguez, who batted just under 300, had over an 800 OPS, had over 140 home runs, and won 8 Gold Gloves. Yeah, Pudge Rodriguez was pretty amazing. Number 16 is Juan Gonzalez, who had 342 home runs, batted 295, and had a 913 OPS. He shouldn't have won either of those MVPs, but he was still really good this decade. Number 15, Gary Sheffield, who had over 240 home runs, over 140 stolen bases, and batted almost 300, had almost a 400 on base, and had an over 900 OPS. Number 14, Rafael Palmeiro, who won 3 Gold Gloves, had almost a 300 average, 368 on base, 892 OPS, and hit 328 home runs. Number 13, Roberto Alomar, who had a 300 average, had over an 810 OPS, hit over 110 home runs, and stole over 330 bags, and won 7 Gold Gloves. Yeah, Roberto Alomar was great. Number 12 is Randy Johnson, who's really getting carried because of the end of the decade, and, right into his zeros, but, I'm only talking about their performance in the 90s. But still, Randy Johnson, 3.14 ERA, over 2,500 strikeouts, and over 2,000 innings pitched. Now, coming in at number 11 is Albert Bell, where, if it weren't for injuries, he could have probably been in, the top 8. But still, 337 home runs, 297 average, 371 on base, 943 OPS. Yeah, Albert Bell was pretty amazing. And he's the only player in MLB history to have 50 home runs and 50 doubles in a year. And he did it in a shortened year. And coming in at number 10 is Larry Walker, who had 262 home runs, 189 stolen bases, batted over 300, had a 390 on base and 961 OPS, and won 5 Gold Gloves. It was definitely a little bit harder to place him because of the Coors effect, but these numbers are not just Coors effect. He was legit that good. Now coming in at number 9 is Sammy Sosa, where, I mean, it's a bit trickier to play Sammy Sosa because of the PEDs and everything, but still, he did have over 330 home runs, stole over 220 bags, and had over an 800 OPS. So it's like, yeah, I will still put Sammy Sosa in the top 10. Number 8, Mike Piazza, who basically only played 8 years in a decade, and he won a Silver Slugger every year he played that decade. Hit 240 home runs, had a 328 average, 391 on base, 966 OPS. I mean, these are pretty insane numbers for a catcher. So yeah, Mike Piazza will be number 8. Number 7, Greg Maddux, who's really being carried because of the beginning of a decade. However, he ended his decade with a 2.54 ERA, which is pretty insane. He had over 1,600 strikeouts, over 2,400 innings pitched, and he won a Gold Glove every year this decade. Yeah, Greg Maddux was pretty insane. Number 6, I'm going to go with Roger Clemens, who had a 3.12 ERA, had 2,100, over 2,100 strikeouts, and just under 2,200 innings pitched. So it's like, yeah, Roger Clemens, for me, will be the best pitcher of the 90s. He was still pretty amazing. And, I mean, it's obviously a bit trickier to place because of some steroid stuff towards the end, but I will still put him here at number 6. Number 5, Jeff Bagwell. He had 263 home runs, stole over 150 bases, had over a 300 average, over 415 on base, and a 961 OPS. Yeah, Jeff Bagwell was pretty incredible. Number 4, I'm going to go with Tony Gwynn, who, I mean, was able to have a 344 average this decade, which is pretty insane. He also had over an 800 OPS, and he won 2 Gold Gloves. Yeah, Tony Gwynn in the 90s was just unbelievable. Number 3, I'm going to go with Frank Thomas, who had over 300 home runs, had a 320 average, 440 on base, 1,013 OPS. I mean, these numbers are video game numbers. He is arguably the best slugger this decade. However, because he, I mean, played DH for about half the decade, and because, I mean, first baseman can only really provide so much value, I mean, I will slot him here at number 3, but still, Frank Thomas was still incredible in the 90s. Number 2, Ken Griffey Jr., 382 home runs, over 150 stolen bases, 302 average, 384 on base, 966 OPS, and he won a Gold Glove every year this decade. Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. was pretty insane in the 90s. But number 1 is going to be Barry Bonds, who had 361 home runs, 343 stolen bases, almost 1,200 walks, 301 average, 441 on base, 1,051 OPS. Yeah, and he won 8 Gold Gloves. So yeah, it's like, yeah, even though he probably started to take some PEDs towards the end of the decade, it's like, for me, these numbers aren't just PED numbers. He was legit that good in the 90s. So yes, even before his ungodly run in the zeros, it's like, yeah, Barry Bonds will still be the best player of the 90s, in my personal opinion. Now, thanks for watching. Feel free to share who you think are the best players of the 90s down below in the comments. And this is video 1 of my 2 videos today for day 5 of my 5 doubleheaders and day 85 of my 200-day posting streak goal. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.